Have you ever woken up and felt nothing? Not sad, not angry, just empty, like your life is slowly slipping through your fingers and you don't even have the energy to stop it. Stay with me until the end, because this story might quietly change the way you wake up tomorrow. Because this isn't about motivation, it's about survival, and how just 5 minutes saved a life that was already fading. His name was Kael Virelli. Not famous, not special, just existing. Every morning, his alarm rang at 6:30. Same sound, same dull vibration on the nightstand. And every morning, he stared at the ceiling, blank, heavy, like his body weighed more than his thoughts. He felt invisible, like his life was going nowhere. He didn't hate his job. He didn't love it either. It was just there, like everything else. He would sit on the edge of his bed, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor, same cracked tile, same silence. The room smelled slightly stale, like yesterday never really left, and neither did he. People thought he was fine. He smiled when needed, nodded when expected, laughed, sometimes. But inside, he was tired, frustrated, done. Every night he told himself, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow came, and nothing changed. Nothing is changing. Nothing will change. The thought echoed louder each day. There was a time. It wasn't like this. He remembered being younger, running outside barefoot, laughing for no reason, feeling something real. One memory stayed with him. He was maybe 10, standing in the rain, arms wide open, eyes closed, his mother yelling from the porch, "Kael, you'll get sick," but he didn't care. He felt alive, free, like the world was his. Now, he couldn't even remember the last time he felt anything close to that. One morning, something different happened. Not big, not dramatic, just a crack in the routine. His alarm rang, 6:30. He reached out, but instead of turning it off, he paused, just for a second, 5 seconds maybe. But something felt off. Or maybe, finally right. He didn't know. He sat up slowly. The room looked the same, felt the same, but he didn't move, didn't rush, didn't grab his phone, didn't drown in noise. He just sat there, breathing, in, out, and then, a thought, quiet, almost fragile. What if I don't rush today? It sounded stupid, pointless, but something inside him held on to it. That day wasn't magical. Nothing amazing happened. He still went to work, still sat in traffic, still answered emails, but something small shifted. A tiny crack in the gray. The next morning, 6:30, alarm rings. This time, he didn't immediately react. Again, he paused, sat up, breathed. 5 minutes. That's all it was. No phone, no noise, just silence, just him. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like sitting alone with someone you don't like, because for the first time in years, he was facing himself, and he didn't like what he saw. Regret, doubt, questions, so many questions. What am I doing? Why am I like this? Is this it? On the third day, he almost quit. He grabbed his phone instantly, scrolled, escaped, back to normal. Micro failure, small, but familiar, comfortable. That night, he felt worse, because deep down, he knew, he had tasted something different, and he ran from it. The next morning, he sat again, reluctantly, annoyed, but he stayed. 5 minutes, that's it. And then, this is where his life changed. Not in a loud way, not in a cinematic explosion, but in a quiet realization. I've been running from myself. That hit him, hard. Years of distraction, noise, comfort, avoidance, all hiding one thing, him. Days turned into a week. The 5 minutes stayed. Some days were harder. Some days felt pointless. Some days, he wanted to quit again. But something was growing, slowly, like a seed buried deep. He started noticing things. The way sunlight touched the wall, the sound of his own breathing, the tension in his chest. He started feeling again. Not all good, but real. One morning, he broke, sat there, head in hands, tears, silent, heavy, no dramatic reason, just everything at once. And for the first time, he didn't run, didn't distract, didn't escape. He stayed, because those 5 minutes were no longer empty. They were becoming something else, something honest. That's when he realized, change wasn't about doing more. It was about finally stopping. And maybe, just maybe, he wasn't broken. He didn't expect anything big to happen after that moment. No sudden success, no overnight confidence, no perfect mornings, just awareness. And honestly, that scared him more than his old life ever did, Because now, he couldn't pretend anymore. He couldn't scroll his way out of it. He couldn't distract himself into comfort. Every morning, those 5 minutes were waiting. And they were honest. Brutally honest. At first it got worse. Yes, worse. Because when you finally stop running, everything you've been avoiding catches up. His thoughts became louder, sharper, more uncomfortable. You're wasting your life. You've done nothing. You're behind. Each word felt heavier than the last. There were mornings he sat there, staring at the wall, jaw tight, breathing faster, heart racing, like he wanted to escape his own mind. And sometimes, he almost did. His hand would slowly reach for the phone. Just one tap. Just one distraction. Just one escape. But then, he remembered that feeling, that tiny shift, that small crack in the routine, and he pulled his hand back. 5 minutes. Stay. Just stay. Days passed, then weeks, and something strange began to happen. The thoughts didn't disappear, but they changed. They slowed down, like a storm that was losing its power. Instead of chaos, there were patterns. Instead of noise, there were truths. He started seeing things clearly, painfully clearly. He realized he wasn't tired because of work. He was tired because he had no direction. He wasn't lazy. He was lost. He wasn't broken. He was disconnected. That hit him deeper than anything before. One morning, he whispered something out loud, soft, almost unsure. I don't know who I am anymore. The room stayed silent, but something inside him answered. Then find out. That was new. He had never spoken to himself like that. Not with curiosity, not with honesty. From that day, those 5 minutes became something else. Not just silence, but a conversation. He would sit, breathe, and ask himself one question. Simple, direct. What do I actually want? At first, nothing came, just emptiness. Then one day, a memory. Quick, faint, but real. He saw himself again, that little kid in the rain, laughing, free, alive. And something clicked. He didn't want success. Not really. He didn't want money, or validation, or approval. He wanted that feeling, that freedom, that aliveness. But how do you get that back? That question stayed with him all day. At work, in traffic, even at night. And then, life tested him. Hard. One afternoon, his manager called him in. Cold tone, short words. Your performance is dropping. We need consistency. Figure it out. Same job. Same pressure. But this time, it felt different. Because now, he was aware. Before, he would have ignored it. Pushed it down. Escaped later. But not now. That evening, he sat on his bed. Same spot. Same room. But his mind was louder than ever. Nothing is changing. Nothing will change. The thought came back. Stronger. More convincing. For a moment, he believed it again. Felt it in his chest. That old heaviness. That old weight. He almost gave up. Almost decided, this is just who I am. But then, something inside pushed back. Quiet, but firm. No. That one word felt different. He stood up, walked to the mirror, looked at himself, really looked, tired eyes, flat expression. But still, there, still breathing, still here. And that's when it happened. The shift, the decision. He spoke again, clear this time. No hesitation, just one rule. Sit with yourself for 5 minutes every morning. No excuses. That was it. No big plan. No complicated system. No motivation speech. Just one rule. The next morning, he didn't feel like doing it, at all. His body felt heavy, mind restless. Excuses ready. Skip today. You deserve a break. It won't matter. But he remembered the rule. No excuses. He sat down anyway. Angry, annoyed, uncomfortable. Minute 1 felt like 10. Minute 2, worse. By minute 3, his thoughts were screaming. But he stayed. Minute 4, something softened. Minute 5, silence. Not empty silence. Peaceful silence. Tiny, fragile, but real. And for the first time, he didn't feel like escaping. That day, nothing magical happened again. But something inside him was different. He wasn't rushing anymore. He wasn't reacting to everything. He was choosing. Slowly, painfully, but consciously. Weeks passed. Then a month. The habit stayed. 5 minutes. Every morning. Some days were still messy. Some days he felt nothing. Some days he doubted everything. But he didn't stop. Because now, it wasn't about feeling good. It was about becoming real. And one day, without even noticing, he smiled. Not for anyone. Not for a reason. Just because that smile didn't change his life. But it proved something. Something small. Something powerful. He was still in there. Still alive. Still capable of feeling something real. Months passed. And those 5 minutes never left. They became his anchor. His reset. His truth. Life didn't suddenly become easy. He still had bad days. Still had moments where everything felt pointless. Still had mornings where getting out of bed felt like a battle. But now, he had something he didn't have before. Control. Not over the world, not over outcomes, but over himself. And that changed everything. He started making small decisions, tiny ones, almost invisible. He walked instead of scrolling. He listened instead of reacting. He paused instead of rushing. Nobody noticed. No applause. No recognition. But inside, something was building. Confidence. Not loud. Not arrogant. Quiet. Stable. Real. One morning, he sat like always. 5 minutes. Silence. Breath steady. And a thought came. Clear. Direct. Different. I don't hate my life anymore. He froze. Because for years, that feeling had been normal. Constant. Heavy. And now, it wasn't there. Not because everything was perfect, but because he was finally present. That's the part nobody talks about. You don't fix your life first. You face it first. And that changes how everything feels. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. He woke up before the alarm. No sound. No vibration. His eyes just opened. Naturally. And instead of dread, there was calm. He didn't rush. Didn't reach for anything. He just sat. As usual. 5 minutes. But this time, it felt different. Not like a habit. Not like effort. Like identity. This is who he was now. Someone who shows up. Even when it's hard. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when no one is watching. That's when it hit him. I am not the man who runs anymore. That line stayed with him. Burned into him. Because for years, running was all he knew. Running from thoughts. Running from discomfort. Running from himself. And now, he stayed. That's the difference. One day, his manager called him in again. Same office. Same tone. But this time, different outcome. I've noticed a change. You're more focused. More consistent. Kael didn't say much. Just nodded. Because he knew. This didn't start at work. It started in silence. 5 minutes at a time. His life didn't explode into success. No big breakthrough. No overnight transformation. But everything felt lighter. Clearer. More honest. He started setting small goals. Simple ones. Things he could actually keep. And he kept them. Day by day. That's how it builds. Not in one moment, but in repeated choices. And here's the truth most people ignore. It's not about the 5 minutes. It's about what those 5 minutes represent. Facing yourself. Without distraction. Without excuses. Without running. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll say it's too simple, too small, too slow, and they'll stay exactly where they are. Because change doesn't look exciting at the beginning. It looks boring, uncomfortable, pointless. But that's where it starts. You don't need a new life. You need a new moment. Just one. Tomorrow morning. When your alarm rings, don't move immediately. Don't grab your phone. Don't escape. Just sit. 5 minutes. That's it. Breathe. Listen. Face yourself. It won't feel good at first. You might hate it. You might want to quit. Do it anyway. Because on the other side of that discomfort is you. The real you. Not the distracted version. Not the numb version. The honest one. Try this for 30 days. Not for motivation. Not for results. For truth. And then, come back here. Tell me what changed. Because it will. Quietly. Slowly. But deeply. And if you're still waiting for the perfect moment, This is it. Start tomorrow.